Hey everybody, a quick video update on the energy, and again this is the focus is on Mercury Retrograde, but also we kind of bring things back to earlier on this year, the Lionsgate, the other retrogrades, but the work we were doing, and then also we then take it forward, which we're only taking it forward a few days now, to 11/11/11, which is on Monday. And so I think in my posts I've already spoken about survival and sustainability. Now, it's really, again, these two words keep coming up massively. They are such a big focus in terms of this Mercury retrograde. So sustainability, survival, and the other word that I have to add to these is shame. Now, when the whole purpose of what is energetically going on at the moment is this shift from 3D to 5D, and that's been going on for ages. As I just looked at the time, it was 1:11, so yeah, definitely on the right track. So it's been that shift from 3D to 5D in terms of what has been going on for the past couple of years. This is the work we have been preparing for, most definitely spiritually. And what we can't be taking into this 5D timeline is our survival mechanisms, that living just to survive. And for me, one of the biggest things that came up when I look at it, I have lived to survive my whole entire life. It's literally imprinted in my DNA that you only live to survive. You go to work just to survive, literally. And so for me, it was definitely this year, this really big realization, first of all in terms of the poverty consciousness that I knew played a massive part in with me, my life, how I live my day to day, but also that real recognition that even my business had been built on survival, and I can't run this business the way it is, or even this particular business. It could be that's what it is. This business may be not the one because it was built, its whole foundation was built on survival and not flow, not that flow and that ease and abundance and prosperity, which is what this 5D timeline is all about. We can't be and I am just giving like the whole work thing, and because everybody's thing is going to be different. For someone, their whole survival thing may be to do with childhood trauma or anxiety or loss or abandonment. Everyone's going to have something different. So the examples I am giving are based on money. And do you know what? I feel they're very relevant because the other thing is that I think a lot of what is out there in terms of spiritual teachers is a lot of, and it's so misleading because it's a lot of people who have come from money, who have been in the corporate world before they lost everything, all my inverted commas, and I'm coming from a standpoint, and I know so many of my followers will get where I'm coming from. So we're talking of growing up in a council home, living still in a council home, or being that one paycheck away from losing everything, that kind of life. And this is where the survival doesn't living to survive, which is what so many of us are doing, doesn't fit in with the 3D. So what you're then looking at is how on earth do you reconcile that? how on earth can you reconcile that? And so the other thing that has massively come up has been the sustainability. And with the sustainability, it's, you can't maintain, so we can manifest amazingly. We can literally be in that vibration. I've manifested my home. I've been in that vibration and manifested my home. It's immense. It's incredible. I am so incredibly overwhelmed by it, to be honest with you. I can't believe I've manifested it, and so quickly as well. Sorry. But it then comes down to be able to maintain that, you need to be able to sustain it. And sustainability is, again, such a massive key word. That sustainability comes from grassroots level, yourself first. But then when we look at, it's such a big theme at the moment in terms of general sustainable living. So when I say sustainability, I'm not just talking about green energy and caring for the earth and all of that. I'm talking about, can you financially sustain where you are? And if you've been in this mode of survival all your life, it's so hard to then be able to sustain it. So if you've been in survival mode in relationships, when the perfect relationship comes along, when the right man or woman comes along, how are you then able to sustain that relationship? Do you have the skills to? Do you have you done the work? And the work is so deep and personal, and that is where shame comes in. You know what your shame is. You know what your shame is. What you feel embarrassed about, what you feel ashamed about, what you don't want to talk to anybody about. You might not want to talk or let anyone know that today you cried on the street to your friend, and he totally understood your situation. And as he was there cuddling you, tears in his eyes as well, talking about how you're going to survive, he's gone across the road, probably to the bookies, because he's in survival mode as well. And he's come back with 20 quid for you so that you can buy dinner to feed your children tonight. Yeah? That's how raw we're getting. Is that your shame? That nearly every day is like that. And until we really acknowledge and surrender that shame to the stone, to the earth, to the ground, in whatever way we feel that we're to do it, we can't necessarily sustain what we are manifesting. We can't get out of survival mode. We have to acknowledge our shame to be able to get out of survival mode. And it's a hard one. It's a really, really hard one. That shame is so personal. It's that in terms of when you look at even like the whole healing, shame is probably the last thing to go. Like, we release toxic relationships, we change how we're eating, how we think, the mindset, all of these things we do in this amazing, marvelous spiritual journey. And shame is probably the last thing to go, because people can see, in terms of our reactions, emotions, people can see when we're angry, they can see when we're sad, they can see when we're upset, but we don't let anyone see our shame. That shame is so deeply buried, so deeply buried. So, something to think about. Something to really, really look at if you were needing that shift in whatever area of your life, into really going deep. What is your shame? So, have a marvellous weekend. On that note, have a marvellous weekend, and enjoy whatever 11/11 brings. It's going to bring through the codes that you was given at the Lion's Gate. No, the codes that you was given at the Lion's Gate, day 11/11 is going to bring like the door opener kind of thing, the security switch. Is going to be, activated. So 11 and 11 will bring through the activation of the code she was given, 8-8 during the Lion's Gate. Enjoy the time. And surrender. Surrender to your shame. Surrender to your shame so you can get out of survival and live a fulfilling, sustainable life. Love you all.